Hi, welcome to Procrastination time again. This one's all about going on nights out because they're sort of a real integral part of being a student. Obviously, the university side of it is quite important as well, but you're going to be spending a lot of your time going out, probably like once or twice a week maybe. But I find the best part of university is all the people that you meet, like whether they're through like your accommodation, like in halls or that kind of stuff, or or through your course or your other activities like sports and societies and that. But you'll probably use going on nights out as sort of a bonding experience with these new people that you've never met before, and that'll be like quite a cool, fun thing to do. But for the people that don't go to university already and are maybe going after the summer, you probably haven't been out too many times, and if you have, you've probably not been out to student areas and that. I mean, where I live back in Ipswich, it's really not a studenty area, and I'd not been out too many times because I'm an August birthday, sort of one of those young ones, and I'd only been out like a couple of times before leaving to come to uni. So you sort of need to know the ins and outs of the clubbing process, and I'm probably going to give like a fairly abstract overview and things that I find funny and quite fun about going clubbing. So first of all, you've got to plan the night out. Now, women seem to do this thing where they plan nights out like weeks in advance, and it's just it's beyond me how they do it. I mean, I can barely think about what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone like next week. That would be like impossible for me to even comprehend. But girls, they seem to do these things. They set up Facebook groups, and you have to like accept it, and if you decline it, then that's considered like a hate crime, and they think you hate their personality or whatever. And for guys, it's completely different. If a guy wants to go out on a night out, the day before or on the day of the night out, they go, "Oh, do you want to come out?" And then you either respond with a yes or a no, and then the other guy replies with, "Oh, lad," or "Yes, nice one, mate." And that's it. That's all you do. And if you say no, then it's like, "Oh, don't worry about it," or something like that. And it's a lot more simple, shockingly easy. And even if you do say no, you're probably going to end up going out anyway, unless you're actually completely broke. Maybe like bankrupt, living off, cereal, that kind of thing. Then you probably shouldn't go out. But, there's pretty much no excuse. But yeah. So there's obviously a lot of like gender differences between going clubbing and how it all sort of works. But once you've planned the night out and sort of when you're leaving, where you're going and all that, you've got to work out how much you're going to spend on that night out. Because a man without a plan, you're going to end up broke because you have no idea how much you want to spend and how much you want to save. I've ended up doing this thing where I leave my bank card at home. I find this works quite well because it means you know how much you're taking out, and that's how much you can spend because you can't withdraw anymore, right? Unless your friend lends you some money, but if they do that, they're an idiot because they're probably not going to get it back, right? So, but if so if you put your bank card in your like room and then you go out, then you won't spend any more money than that. But if you take it with you, you could also use the other precaution of putting some money aside into a different pocket, or like I've heard people put it in their shoe, or girls sometimes put it in their bras, don't they? And you could save a lot of money by doing that, because then when you get really drunk, you hopefully won't remember where you put that money, and then that will save you that money later on. I don't know if that works. I've given it a go a couple of times. I've always managed to find it and then used it, like spent it on a kebab or something that you don't really want or need. And but that's how I do it. All right. The next part of going clubbing is obviously dancing. Everyone in club, well, not everyone, most people in clubs go dancing. So it's quite commonplace. And I've realised that there are certain groups of people that you spot dancing. You've got the drunken dancers who sort of have their arm around their mates, like using them as a crutch because they can no longer stand up properly and sort of synchronise movements. Or you can see the expert dancers. These are the people that look like they've rehearsed their dance moves like weeks in advance. And you like look at your mates and go, "Oh, look at them pricks over there. Look at them, they look like idiots. What are they doing?" But inside you're thinking, "Oh my god, that is so awesome. I wish I was like that." Personally, I fit into the category of hip swivelers. This is quite a feminine category, and when I'm drunk, I do dance like a girl. I'm proud to admit it. because I think it looks good. A lot of people don't. I don't really care what they think, to be honest. Toilets. This is a bit of toilet humour. I find that on a night out, I don't know why, but when you drink, you need a wee more. And if you break the seal, you're probably going to be in and out of that toilet every 20 minutes, maybe tops. Especially if you're drinking like Red Bull and that. But I find that I've noticed that there are certain drunk styles of going to the toilet. Now, I can only speak for men on this one because I've never been in a woman's toilet, and I don't know what goes on in those places. Apparently, you've got toilets, right, in the girls, that there are 2 toilets in one cubicle. How weird is that? I guess men stand like next to each other in the urinal, but we don't like sit down, and that's wrong. I can't even see the benefits of that. You take bloody long enough on your own, let alone 2 of you. You're going to be like talking. You could be there for hours. And it's just odd. Do you have the same toilet roll dispenser? When does it become weird? Like, what point does that become like a normal thing to do? I can't understand that. Anyway, that's not what this is about. Men at the urinals, they seem to change how they go for a wee when they're drunk. I've noticed that if you're sober, you can stand straight and you don't have to like do anything. You just do your business. But if you're tipsy, I find the one arm support is often employed. You put your arm either flat on the wall or across like that, and that sort of supports you so you don't sway as much. But then when you get a little bit more drunk, you often use the 2 arm support, which is both arms on the wall, and that holds you up so you don't fall over, right? Otherwise you'll just go splat down, and you'll end up with a face full of urinal mints, which will be disgusting. And I don't know if anyone's ever tried one, but I can imagine they would be minging. I don't know why you'd want to eat one. But yeah. But then as you get more and more drunk, so you've used the 2 arm support, but then if you get more drunk than that, you're going to forget your arms. You're just going to plant your face on the wall, right? And you're going to hold yourself there. And that is quite. You have to be pretty drunk, and you see that a lot. That happens a lot in men's toilets, right? But this last stage of being completely sloshed or whatever, you're going to employ one of the previous 3 methods of drunk weeing, but you're not going to just stop there. No. You take your trousers right down to the floor and your boxers, so you're standing there like butt-ass naked, and then you go for a wee. It's because you can't just. The flies take so much concentration, it's just going to be too much to handle, right? So you take them right down, and I've seen that several times, like 2 or 3 times maybe, and it's horrific. Like, you don't want to be in the toilet with people that do that. It's just wrong. Anyway, I also find that bouncers are quite funny. I mean, they're not funny in that kind of way. I mean, you wouldn't want to laugh at one because you'd probably get just beaten the hell out of, right? But they're quite amusing because what they do is quite ironic, because their job description is to stop violence and to not let people that are too drunk into their club, right? But everyone's too drunk to go into their clubs, right? If you've got bouncers, you're going to know that they're going to see people that are wasted and they're going to try and get in. And you're trying to have a good time, and so you try and laugh with the bouncers. They've got no sense of humour. It's a shame they don't really, because the contradiction of what they're doing is quite funny. But they don't have any sense of humour at all. Now, I wasn't paying much attention when I went into a club once. I was a bit drunk as well, and he held out his arms like to search me, to pat me down, see if I was carrying any like weapons or that kind of stuff. And because I'm a bit of an idiot, I thought he wanted a hug. So I said to him, hug it out, and gave him a proper cuddle. And he didn't even crack a smile. And I thought it was hilarious. I was in tears. And it was really funny. And but yeah, not even a smile. Quite disappointing, really. My friends also pointed out that bouncers come in pairs, right? And you get a short one and a tall one. And the tall one's like massively beefy, and you wouldn't want to mess with him. He looks like a troll from Harry Potter, that kind of thing. But the smaller one, he's probably more like the Brain from Pinky and the Brain. If you remember that, that cartoon with the mice that want to take over the world or whatever. He's more like that. I reckon he's calculated, and he's like, if you stepped on anyone's toes or something, he'd be there. He'd pick you up and just drag you out, like the brains of the organisation. The other one's probably just going around clobbering random people, but because he's a bouncer, no one cares. Anyway, that's probably all you need to know about clubbing, really. So thanks again for watching. I really need to develop like a catchphrase for this or something, but I can't really think of anything. So for now, I'm going to stick with stay safe and don't poo on his floors.